I'll hand over to Tahir for the first part of the session, and then after he's done, I'll come back.
Thank you, Gaurav, and thank you, Vivek. I was just listening to your discussion. That was a very good, fruitful discussion, and it's good to know that we have Vivek with us, and he is like seems to be very experienced in technicals and fundamentals. So it will be, I think, a fun session.
Yes, it's my first session with you.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome. So let's start. I want to open the TSX. Okay, by the way, Vivek, this is the tradingview.com. If you want to see how it looks like, that's the way it is presented. Let me increase it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how it looks like. So we'll start our discussion with the TSX index, just an overview of the Canadian market, how is it doing, and then we will move on to a few of the stocks that are traded in the US and Canadian market to analyze them from the technical perspective. So the TSX index, as we have been discussing previously, like based on this fib ratios, TSX ultimate target seems to be at 16,500 level that we have been discussing previously, and that's we are basing this expectation based on the Elliott wave pattern. And currently we are like in the wave 5 region, and this wave 5 seems to be heading towards its ultimate target of 16,500. We may see like ups and downs during the course, like it goes up towards its target, but the overall view seems to be positive with economy. You know, we see a positive signs with regards to the coronavirus updates. And although there have been like few spikes in the last few of the days in the last week, but in the long run, we are expecting this economy to recover. And by July, and most of the results of the financial results of most of the companies will be announced. We're expecting few in this week as well, like Air Canada on 31st of July. They are announcing on call before they announce the results, and Shop is also going to announce their result this week. I think that's on 29th, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 29th. So with the overview seems to be positive for the TSX index, and currently we are standing at 15,900 points. There was a correction in the last 3 days, so which because of which the market lost almost like 300 points, 300 to 350 points. But previously the market was like green, but sort of in a consolidation phase, and currently we are back to 15,900. It was like last week the market crossed 16,000 level, and that was a positive sign, and because of which market, you know, we saw like 4 green days, almost a full week of uptrend, and now we have a sort of correction phase. And the coming week, depending on how we see the results of the companies, like the big companies which are normally driving the market, like Shop and others, and if we expect a positive outcome, like we are though expecting a positive outcome from them. So if that happens, the market may continue its uptrend, and the ultimate target will be around 16,500. But at this point of time, we should be like very keen, and we should be watchful of the index, how index is moving, because as I said, like this is the mostly the week for the announcement of the results. If there is any bad news or anything, the index may take a hit, and it is directly correlated to our NASDAQ. Let's have a look at NDX, how it's behaving these days. So NDX has been traveling in a channel for a very, very long time, and it is like moving in the same trend as we have been discussing it for a couple of weeks. And this in the last session, it has like broken this channel and has plunged down to 10,483 level. It may be a false breakout, because the last time when it came out of this channel was like very late in March, and it stood there for like just for 3 days, and then back to the channel. So far it has been moving in the same channel, and we're expecting like it for this to again go back in the same channel and continue its journey towards its 80% retracement level of 11,510, not 80%. I think it's 161% retracement level of 161% retracement level at 11,500. So that ultimately it will shoot up, and the same impact we will see on our TSX index as well. So we should be very watchful to the index, how it is moving, because the NASDAQ has been very volatile in the last days. Like in 4 days, it has lost like from 11,000 to 10,400, say almost 600 points have been lost. So that's all was also due to the impact on the results of the companies that have been announced, and it has given a negative impact because most of the time the stocks were like overpriced. Like if we talk about Netflix, then Netflix seems to be overpriced. The PE ratio was not depicting the same price levels as a level on which that Netflix was being traded. It was seemed to be like overpriced, and few of the others as well. Tesla also, we saw a dip in the Tesla from 1700 back to 1400, and then now it's back to again 1600 levels. So that was one of the reasons, because that was a week for the results, and coming week for the Canadian market is also expected to be the same. That's why it's very important to keep an eye on the index before we plan our trades. And as an overview of the market, in the gold market, in the mining industry, the gold is like making all times high. It's like if I'm not wrong, it was like 1870 level at last time I saw this. Let's go to investing.com. We can have a better view of how this gold market is doing these days. The gold market was like almost high, yeah, 1899. So it is like all times high level of reaching 1900 level. If it sustains this level, it will be good for all the mining stocks. But if it doesn't, so we may see a dip in the market. But currently, it is like it seems to be at a very, very high level, and we can see all this movement being reflected in our mining industry as well. And crude is also like 41, seems it is like sustaining at the level of 40 plus, and if it takes a dip, it might punch back to 34 33 level, but still like it seems like it has been sustaining a level of 40 plus. So keep an eye on the commodity market. Those who are dealing in the gold stocks, in the mining stocks, that will be very helpful. I don't know why this commodity page is not opening. Yeah, crude oil, natural gas, gold, 1899, a 10% increase. We're also up, and crude oil is also 41.34. If we just have a quick overview of the crude, because like we have been dealing with some of the energy stocks lately. You can use both investing.com as well and TradingView as well. The watch list normally is good in TradingView, but and also it allows to save your charts. Investing.com also allows to save, but the watch list normally that's not very interactive here. So let's see time frame to 1 day and see how it behaved previously. Yeah, seems like it has been like sustaining this level for like a couple of days. From 41 here, it seems to be in consolidation phase after it moved from 37, and it made a low of 34 also. Yeah, from 34 back to the 40s and took a small dip, and then again back to the 40s level. So 40 plus level is like seems it has already been sustained. So keep an eye on the crude market, gold market, and how the index is moving in. Our TSX index is moving with respect to the NDX, NASDAQ index, and then we can plan our trade accordingly. But the gold is like, these days seems to be at a very, very high levels. So we will continue back to our stocks that normally we trade in our group. So I will hand over to you guys to let me know what the stocks that we want to discuss upon, and then one by one we can take some stocks to discuss. Yes, which stocks you want us to start with? Yes, guys. Otherwise, Kamal will pick a stock.
Can we try Barrick Gold?
Barrick Gold, yes. Let's have a look at the Barrick Gold. Are you currently dealing with this, Barrick Gold?
Yes, I am planning.
Barrick Gold is possibly something Barrick Gold Corporation. This may be X. Okay. So ABX here and see where it is heading to. Seems like it is currently in the uptrend channel with the RSI being positive, and RSI is also in the upward direction. Okay, and if we draw the retracement level, so currently it's like heading towards its next target of like 100% retracement before like it made a spike at this level of 40.26. So, but it didn't give a closing at that level. If we draw the resistance here, it will face a resistance at 39.64 because it touched like almost like it gave a closing of 4 times it tested this level, but wasn't able to cross it. And also this fib ratio is almost giving us the same value of 40.26 based on this spike that it hit it previously in April. So ultimate target, what we see is like 39 for this stock, and currently it is at 38. So upside seems to be like limited towards like just $1, I would say. That, yeah, $1.5. That's the upside for this stock. So from the technical perspective, the upside is limited to $1.5, and if it breaks this resistance level, then we can see like a huge spike in this, making a new highs. And downside is the downside of this stock seems to be at a level of 35. So currently the downside is like $3 versus the upside. Let me draw okay, there is already a support level here drawn by fib ratios 35. The downside is $3 versus the upside is 1.5. So I would say like if we wait for this stock to give a breakout above this resistance line, and then we can make an entry. Or otherwise, like if you do an entry at this point and it hits this level of resistance and falls back, then it can move further down towards its level of 35. So I think it would be better to wait if it gives an actual breakout for this at the level of 39.6, and then continues upward journey. Overall view for the good market is positive. So there is a tendency, there is a chance like it may break out this level, may give a breakout for the resistance level at 39.6, because it has been previously testing like 3-4 times this level but wasn't able to break. So the multiple times the resistance tested, eventually it gets break. So we may expect breakout at this level, given the overall positive view of the market and the commodity market as well. But still, we like to have like a control on the stop loss, because if it goes down, it can fall back like till to 36 before it resumes its upward journey. That's what I see based on these technicals. And the volumes are like consistent. There's no spike in this level, but the expected earning coming on 10th of August. So, and the earnings major is like 0.25, not a very good earning, although it is positive. But a stock you are purchasing at a level of like $40, and it gives you an EPS of 0.25, seems to be like very low EPS. But having said that, this seems to be positive, unlike others which are like in negative. RSI is an upward trend, and it may reach up to level of 70. By the time it hits like 39, RSI will be like in the overbought region. And whenever it entered this overbought region, it
will correct.
It went back. Yeah, it will correct itself. Like we don't have a history of this stock like sustaining a level above 70. Like it hit it like the highest level of 85. It came back. Here also it came back. So we can't see any history for the stock like sustaining any levels above 70. So by the time it enters this overbought region, it will fall back. So and we have a resistance coming up at a distance of $1.5. So we may expect like it can, you know, either go in a consolidation phase at this level or may fall back. So it's better to watch this stock, how it behaves along this resistance line. And given this expected earning is very low and it is nearby, by far what we have seen, like the stocks which are showing their earnings, the expected earning date is near, those stocks are really not performing well, like because we are not expecting very good earnings based on the COVID-19 or whatever happened, the fall in the demand in the market. So investors, like, they don't see any surprise, any positive surprise or a big confidence level that okay, the earnings are like nearby and we can see a spike, upward spike in the stock. So that's not what we are seeing in the Canadian market these days. So there are a couple of factors like that we have to see before like getting an entry in this stock. Almost like all the gold stock levels.
Very true.
That,
just
yep.
one question. The
Yep.
previous candle, which is a red candle,
Yep.
I assumingly if I keep a buy at about 35 something, 35 and 50, 35, 50 or around that, which is the low of that candle, with a stop of about 34.50 or 34. And
Okay.
I get out at about 39.65, 39.75. Could that be a possibility? Since the results are out on 10th of August. So for a duration of only about 8 days.
Yep. So I think that's on 9th, 10th of August. So 10th is result. So if you want to get out, that will be like somewhere around 8th of August. So we are saying like 7, 8,
7, 8 working days.
sessions. Yeah, 8 sessions.
8 sessions.
Yeah.
Because
so
I would expect it to dip to the previous low, which was the previous day.
Yeah, this one you were saying this low of 36.95.
Yes, 36.95. So if I keep it at about 35.50 or 35.75 and keep a stop at 35 to take it to 39.50.
It can take a dip, but when? In the next few days, I see that
because it would be volatile. Before the results, it should be volatile.
It should, but normally these stocks, the range, if you talk about the range is not very high. Like
that's true. That's true.
You see the size of the candle. The size of the candle is not much. The volumes are consistent. So volatility factor is like before the results. Yes, there is a volatility, but it depends upon the stock as well. And if you talk about this particular stock, the size of candle is small. Like opening and closing prices, you see 38.18 is the closing, and how much was the opening? 37. Less than like 50-60 cents, and this is also almost the same. Although there was like high and low was the difference, but the opening and closing had no difference. Inconsistent small candles.
Thank you. Yeah.
For me, like it will be you can enter, but we can have like other options as well where you can put your money and you can have better returns, I would rather say. Because returns on this are limited based on the risk reward ratio.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Okay. Yeah. The next one, guys.
Can we take AEM, which might have a similar trend?
Okay.
Yeah. The third one. Sorry, TSX.
TSX, very nice. This is at its resistance level. The fib ratios, guys, are you practicing the fib ratios? We have our format is like a way we are not bombarding very huge information. We introduce few of the indicators, like last time, couple of days back, we introduced fib ratios, and then whenever I am analyzing, I'm using this fib ratio so that you guys are aware. So I expect that you are practicing this as well, so that you get hands-on on this before we get into some other indicator, and then our next sessions will be based on analyzing the information based on that indicator. So I'm not using any other indicator so far because we have not yet studied that. So once you are familiar and have practiced this indicator, then we will move on with the introduction of the next indicator in our discussions. Okay, so this one seems to be at its resistance level of 97. Exactly, yeah, same. It's at the resistance level, and the bottom is like 78. So downside is very, very long. So there is a risk here that it can fall back after hitting this. So I would say like wait for this stock to give a breakout, and one confirmation candle, 1 day candle is formed above the previous candle, obviously that green one. So and the third and the second day, if stock is moving above the midpoint of the previous candle, we can say that this is in an uptrend and has given a breakout, and that would be the point that where you can enter in the stock. But right now entry, yeah, it's not feasible. But if you're holding the stock, this is the right time to sell it. If you're in profits, sell it, and if it takes a dip, buy it again. Or if it crosses this resistance line and gives you a confirmation, 1 day green candle is formed, wait for that candle, and on the second trading day, if it is still in the uptrend, so that will be your entry point. And the expected earnings are near 0.23. Like if you calculate in terms of percentage, this is nothing, like 0.2%, 0.35%. Yeah, because it is like almost 100. This is 0.23%, you can say. So 0.2%, 0.25% is not, is not something worth it, given at this point of time when it is like hitting its resistance, and the downside is like huge. It can go further down to 78 before it takes its immediate support level. Volumes are like less at this point. 29th is the earning. Yeah, Vivek, as you mentioned in the previous stock, that it should be volatile. And if you see this 29th of July means like 4 trading sessions. If I open the calendar here, 29th will be Wednesday. So we have 3 trading sessions. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On the third session, there is an announcement. So we were expecting a volatility. We should have theoretically expected a volatility, but look at the sizes of the candles. It was a consolidation phase and a little big candle. Little big means like from 93 to 96, not a very high, like 2.5% increase just 1 day before the market closes. So Canadian market overall, like to be honest, I haven't seen much volatility in that sense. Like if we are expecting these sort of incidents like results are being announced, or some good news is coming up, and we will see a volatility and sustainable volatility. Actually, that's what matters. So normally I haven't figured out like this is sustainable and this is volatile, plus the market is sustainable. Most of the impact is coming through NDX. So whatever is happening in the US market, in the NASDAQ index, in S&P 500, so we will see almost a replica of that in the Canadian market. So like it's just volatility with sustainability has been like we would say an issue here. I haven't seen it like much sustainable being in a Canadian market. And this one for this stock, yeah, I would say like sell it here. If you're holding it, sell it. If you are in profit, or even if like in a minor profit, sell it and then buy it again, either at a dip or at another level which is above its resistance level. Yep. I hope that sufficiently or precisely answers the guys who are interested in this stock, Eagle Mines. Vivek, Aditya is silent today. Aditya, what happened?
Oh, to be honest, the stocks which I invested in are doing okay, not so good last week. So, and hearing about the crash. So, to be honest, this week I'll just be watching Tahir.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm doing the same for last almost like 2 weeks. I'm inactive because of the market as well, and because of the pressure from the office as well. We are like by the end of the reporting time, we have
True,
reporting frameworks and deadlines.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Another thing what I'm hearing about is like a market crash is going to come because the Fed bill, right? There's going to be 1200 that they're going to insert, but that's not going to come until end of August. So we are expecting another market crash is what I've been hearing. So I hope money is the best.
I've been hearing this sort of thing from multiple analysts, and we have been hearing, to be honest, for more than a month now. Another crash is coming, a bubble is being formed up in the US market. So whenever the situation is like this, don't hold the stocks for too long. Like clear your positions in a day or two max. So, but still you cannot, sit back
If
and
I can
just,
ask you,
yes.
Tahir, if I can ask you, what is the current PE ratio for the markets for NASDAQ and for TSX?
I exactly don't remember, but I can check and get back to you on this. I need, I'm
PE
not able
ratio
to
number
recall
one,
right now.
or if you can add an indicator called CCI to this, CCI and Williams R, that will
Yes,
give
we
you a
can.
further.
Yeah, in our next session, we will introduce a few more indicators as well. But so far, we haven't, introduced, and normally I don't use the Bollinger
Acha,
Bands.
no issue.
And like
No issue.
we use like few indicators, like the basic ones are in during our discussion, RSI, MACD, and and this fib ratios and all that. So normally we are not going to that advanced level, because most of the guys who are in our group are, like, you can say 95% guys are the beginners ones. So we like introduce few things, like we started from the very beginning, from support and the resistance level, so that everyone is with us. And we
I
can
agree.
introduce slowly in the next sessions another ratio, another indicator, maybe like Bollinger Band or some other ratio, other indicator that will help all of us to get a little bit advanced in the technical side.
Very true.
Yeah, and we are also planning to have some session for the fundamentals as well, because mostly we are dealing in the stocks, looking at the screen and looking at the prices, or just looking at the views of some of the analysts. But very few of the guys in our group are really looking at the fundamentals or looking at the financials of the companies before getting into those stocks. So we are like planning one session for the fundamentals as well.
That will be nice. That will be nice to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. So because we have covered a few of the aspects in technicals, we started literally from zero, where like most of the guys didn't knew it. So we gradually built up like some awareness. At least I can say we brought some awareness among the members, like who are just now starting the trade. They're entering in the market, and they should know, okay, there is something called technicals, or there is something called fundamentals. So I believe like we have created a little bit awareness among the members, and going forward we will be introducing more like fundamentals and the indicators as well. Okay, so
kudos to you for that. Kudos to you. Really great job.
Thank you very much for the appreciation, and we will go for the next talk. We can take like 2-3 more stocks. I have like taken most of the time today. Like Kamal is waiting for his session to come up.
I'm fine. I was just trying to interrupt because this session might end, and I would request everyone to rejoin on the same meeting invite, because Zoom has this limitation of 40 minutes call.
Yeah, we have 40 minutes, so it's like a minute remaining. So we will like join back using same link, and then we will pick up few more stocks before I hand over the session to Kamal for his part. Okay, guys, see you in a minute.
Yeah. So request you all to join on the same.
Okay. Yes, guys, tell me the next stock which you want to discuss, or I will pick someone from my own.
On behalf of one of our group member, CGX. Cineplex.
CGX. Is there any news in CGX after that happened? The contract was like, breached. That was terminated by Australian entity. Have you heard any news after that?
CGX is filing for because they Cineworld, I guess, because they turned down the contract, so they are filing for the breach of agreement.
Yeah, I read somewhere like they were saying that there was no such clause that they can terminate the agreement. Now, since the Australian entity has terminated the agreement, they are filing a lawsuit against the entity for the loss of reputation and damages. So that damage claim they were planning to file against the Australian entity. After that, I didn't heard anything on that. Okay, let's get back to this. And this stock is in a long consolidation phase for some time. And this happened actually after a news that broke out like in the last month, that their contract with the Australian entity was terminated. And after that, they couldn't get back to the previous levels. It is still like in the same consolidation. Fix it and zoom it so you can see it in a very better way. Yeah, more visible now. So this stock is in consolidation phase, and whenever the stock is in the consolidation phase, the idea is we shouldn't be dealing in that stock until it gives a breakout. So if the breakout happens on the upper side, by the way, it can go on the either side, either on the upside or on the downside. If it gives a breakout on the upper side, it can go up to a level of 10.09, which will be like the same level of the previous candle before it actually entered into the consolidation phase. Or the next thing that can happen, it may go down, and going down will be at around the level of this much. Let me make it more precise. So this can be the level of 6.62. Let's do some back testing. 6.62, yeah, it has a previous low of 6.18, so 6.2, yeah, somewhere around 6.2 to 6.6. So this could be the level of this stock going forward if it gives a breakdown on the lower side. But I think that could be the lowest level that it ever touched. Like do some back testing, and previously I can't see this stock like till like 4 or 5 years. It never came back to these levels, and this is seems to be something horrible for this stock. But on the other side, the flip side is that it can be a good buying opportunity in the long run if they try to sustain and don't go for the bankruptcy thing. But it will take some time, not in the current market. But the day it gives a breakout and these things have been sorted out, the economy is back and people are, actually have started going out and dining in and going to this to Cineplex and watching movies, it can go up, and it will make a good high. But at the current point, it seems to be risky because we don't know when this is going to happen, and it can go further down to 6.68. I would recommend just wait for this stock to give a breakout either on the upside or the low side. If it goes at the lower side, I think that will be a good point to buy, because that was the lowest ever point in like last 4 or 5 years for this stock to reach at, and currently also it is at one of the lowest. I think this will be 52 weeks low right now, but still we don't know how long you have to tie up your capital in this stock. And but the good idea can be you can start accumulating little bit in this stock, because eventually it will go up. That's for sure, that it will never forever remain at these levels. But don't block too much capital in this. Currently we don't know how it's gonna move. I think that should be our stance. And RSI downward, MACD also, there's the gap is being converging now. It was like upside. Now the gap has started converging, and it may, give a sell signal very soon. That's how I see this stock. And earnings are negative 1.55 as expected, because they have overhead cost. Operations are like not there, no revenues, overhead cost is there, so it's expected that the earnings will be negative. And with all this happening, that if you see the stock levels are constantly down. See, stock levels are constantly down, declining stock, declining RSI, negative earnings are near. And if you have a close look at the price, declining trend, currently at its support level. So if this support level breaks, given that there is a declining, where is the stock line went? Given that there is a declining stock volume, pressure on the earnings, which is negative, there is a chance that it can give a breakout or on the lower side and make new low of somewhere around 6.6. So better to wait for this stock and not to enter. That's how I perceive based on the fundamentals. I hope that can give out some view to the guys who are planning to invest in CGX. Because previously, when it was like at this level 13, like here, we were expecting that this is the lowest. It might not go further. At this point of time, then it broke out that okay, yes, the agreement has been cancelled, and the stock is going down. That's how it happened in the last month. That's fine, Kamal.
Yep, thanks. So there's one more ACB.
ACB. Okay.
TSX, second one.
Okay. We studied ABC. Now this is something ACB. I think schools need to change the rules from ABC to ACB as well. Okay. We have been discussing this stock previously, I believe. Anyway, stock. What happened to the stock? This is. Remove it. Zoom. Okay, this is in very bad shape these days, and giving you a downtrend. This downtrend is very sharp. Like you see in the shorter view, short graph, for a few days, it's in continuous downtrend and it has actually broken this support level of 13.42. Now heading towards its next support level of 13.42. Let me draw the fib ratios here. I think that will give some more useful information. I'll remove these all things and fib ratio here. From this point, this is the lowest one. Take it. Here. Okay. We can zoom to see the numbers. The downside is coming towards somewhere around 12, which will be a 23% retracement. And the upside, we don't see this stock to be in the uptrend anymore. But if it goes upside will be the first support, first resistance level will be 15. So I assume that it will continue its downward journey towards 12, where it will take its first support, because constantly it is for like more than a week, almost 2 weeks, it is constantly down and moving towards its next support level of 12.3. Volumes are constantly low, earnings like are negative, and as soon as like this date of October will approach near, there will be even more pressure on this stock with respect to its price, and it is going down towards this level of oversold level. If you draw a trend line here to see how it can behave, so it can fall down till a level of 26 before it takes its upward trend, and by the time it will be around somewhere around $12 as well. that can be treated as the entry point, and for a very short term, not for like a month or so. So because earnings are negative, it can put a pressure on that. So if it takes a support at this level, you can enter for like few days, maybe maximum a week, and then you just get out of this stock. But currently, just wait for this stock uh, to take its support and try to sustain at that level. Currently, don't enter. And if you are holding this stock and you are in losses, then wait. If you are in profit, which is like little unlikely that you will be in profit, given that it is falling down sharply. So if you're in losses, you need to wait for the stock to move its trend from after taking a support from a level of 12. Yep. Next one, guys. I will take like two more stocks and then I will hand over to Kamal.
Yes, would you like to mention?
Yeah, hi, it's
Yep.
LTE from TSX.
LTE for TSX, LTE Light Technologies. We are seeing Ijaz for a very long time. Where have you been, Ijaz?
Yeah, I was around.
Okay. You were also around, but in the different direction maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
different direction.
Okay, fine.
Maybe different days because we changed the day of the session.
Yeah, we changed the day as well. Sunday is a working day there in MENA, so maybe that's why. Okay. What it says here based on this, currently at a support level, taking support from 78, and it has a small resistance here. This is the resistance, and it is not able to break out a level of 0.89, and it has given a closing at its exactly at its resistance level. It tested how many times? Like multiple times. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost like 9 times it tested this level, but it never gave a breakout to this level. Sometimes it gave a closing at the same level, and sometimes it made a high but didn't sustain and fell back again. So multiple times it has been tested. So at this point of time, wait for the stock if it is crossing this line or not. If it is crossing, that can be a good entry point actually for the next target of 0.89. That can give you around like 10% jump in this stock. But if it doesn't crosses this, then again it will continue its journey back to this level of 0.66, or ultimately based on the retracement level at 0.64. So it will be somewhere around this range. It will take its support as it has been taking previously, 0.68. So upside is very less. I think nothing, zero upside, and downside at this price level. A zero downside is like 11 cents. So recommended approach is wait for the stock either to come back down again 0.68, where you can take an entry, and then you can sell it when it goes back again to its resistance level. Or the other way is like wait for the stock to give a breakout and then you enter in this stock. Given this technology stock are up these days, market, if the market behaves well, it may break out because it has been tested like several times. But still, you know, it's even if it has been tested several times, it's not a conclusive answer. Still, you need to wait for the market to give you one confirmation candle on the next trading day, and after that you can plan your trade. And if we talk about volumes are like, I think the average volume in this stock is very low. It doesn't seem to be very liquid stock. Average volumes are low. When the earnings were near, what was the earning? By the way, earning was negative. When the earnings were near, the stock like was traded a little bit higher. Here also before the earning part, it was traded higher. And at this point, it wasn't traded higher though. But if there is no news or nothing, the average volumes in this stock are like little low. RSI seems to be like turning downwards because of this one red candle that was formed, and that was, yeah, upside price rejection. Whenever there's an upside price rejection, let me zoom it for you. It is an upside price reaction. Whenever there is an upside price reaction, there is a selling pressure which stands at this level of 0.81. So there is a selling pressure. The sellers are coming in and they push the market down back to the lowest levels. So selling has not yet exhausted, which is an indication that it may not cross this level because selling exists at this point. And if you analyze it more closely, like at this level, previously when it touched this level on this date, if you can see it clearly on 20th of July, it touched this level and fell down drastically for 2 more days and came back to 0.3. It will be interesting to monitor this stock. If it is going down, this will be good buying opportunity for you. But if you are already holding it and the next session it has continued its downward journey, then sell it and then buy it again at the lowest levels. I think that sufficiently gives the answer for the guys who are dealing in this stock. Ijaz, anything else you want to know about this?
Tariq sir, can we buy this at 0.73 and dispose it at 0.8?
0.73 and
buy
yes,
at 73 and dispose at 0.8?
Yep.
Yeah, because I have seen this stock like going down up to around 0.7 and then shooting up to 0.8, and it's been like continuous.
Yeah, 0.7 and 0.8, like these trends for like 5-6 sessions. 0.73, like this one, and then selling it at resistance level of 0.79 or 0.8. Yeah, you get that can
and
be
that means
bet.
you buy at 73 and keep a stop of 70. So you keep a ratio 1:3.
Stop of 70 here. It can touch this 70, but it can bounce back from 70. I would recommend stop loss here below its support level of 0.6 if you have that much strength, because it can touch this level.
0.66.
Yeah, 0.6 is depending upon your risk capacity.
Yes.
For me, I would put it here because it's just if you put it the stop loss here at 0.70, it can take a support from this level and rebound, because if you sold at 0.70 and the next day it start rising up, it may happen because the support is very near to 0.7. So I would say the stop loss would be around 0.66. If it touches this level, then you exit the trade. But currently you have like two options, 0.73 to 0.8, but for that to happen you need to wait for this stock to fall back again to this level, enter the stock and sell it and trade between these this channel of resistance and support.
Very true.
Yeah. Ijaz, you were saying something, sorry.
I was saying the same thing. This is actually a passive 5G stock. They are into laying of fiber optic cable. So do you think that it has some, like, will it gain some steam once the 5G stock starts gaining?
Currently, we don't see any information being translated into the stock price, because there's no, the volumes are like good indicators. We don't see any spike, any high or low in the volumes. Currently, it might be like too early to say anything about that, because currently the market has not yet responded anything to this piece of information. It may or may not, it will be risky, because if the volumes are responding to this information, then we can say, yeah, there is something happening in that, but nothing is happening. No, neither the small guys nor the big players seem to be interested in this stock at this moment.
Yeah, makes sense, Tahir. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take the last stock and then I will hand over to Kamal for his session. I would say, like, the guys who have not yet participated in anything, or they have not yet contributed, or they want to ask, this last talk should go to them, or like, and then Kamal will say. We have, I think, a new member, Isan Achala.
I think, Tahir, I'll go with one. This is Aditya. Can you look at NOVN?
NOVN.
It's a US. NOVN.
NOVN. Yes.
The first one, yeah.
Okay, guys. What happened here?
Oh, down
the lucky guys. It's like, see, it's interesting, like from 3.0 like to 0.8, like, I don't know, in just one day, and the volumes were, you see the volumes disappeared actually at this point. See, and there was no volumes here, and then no volumes here, and nothing. If you go back and see the volumes, nothing. That's one of the reason, like, guys, don't trade in the stocks which don't have the volumes. These are illiquid stocks, and now we don't know when this stock will get back to this level of 2.9. So candle size is also like not good, and small candle sizes, volumes are like next to zero, and here the volumes, small volumes came in, but previously there were no volumes. We have an earning coming in of negative. Okay, for this stock, this is in a long consolidation phase. Still, we can say that it is a consolidation parallel channel. It gave a breakout in the last 2-3 trading sessions, but whether this breakout is sustainable or not, this is the question. Still this one, okay, this one on 21st of July, it was a breakout, then next day it didn't sustain. It gave you a negative closing. Third day also negative, and the fourth day it is back to the same channel again. So we can't say that that was a positive breakout, that was a false breakout for this stock, and still it is in the same channel. So the idea is like stay away from the stock unless you clearly see that trend has been changed from sideways to upward. If this trend has changed, that can be your point. If you're already holding this stock, then wait for the stock to give you another spike. Like at this point, it gave a breakout, fell back to its support level. Here it rose a little bit, fell back, and at this point on 15th of June, it gave you a spike of 0.719, around 0.8, and then slept actually. Fell back again and slept for months. The same thing happened here. It gave you a spike and then started going down. So for last 4 days, it is in downward direction. Volumes are also down. The guys who bought it here, I believe the next day they came out. So one thing you should keep in mind, like these sort of stock, if they give you a breakout or sudden spike in just one day, this is like sort of pumping, and next day obviously there will be dumping of that stock, unless and until there is some very good positive news that is going to change the fundamentals of that stock. Sometimes the stocks like behave based on some tweets or some sort of information. Some guys, they would like to play on the news. So there's some tweet from some official guys and then stock move up, so that is more likely to be pumping, and then you will see a dumping. If you recall, like JE was being discussed in our group. JE one day it went very high and the next day back to the same level again. So this is called something pumping and dumping of the stock. Then the guy, if you are like lucky to get into that stock on the same day, don't hold it for like next 2-3 days. Either sell it by the end of the same day or the next day morning session, just get out of that stock. Or unless that stock or that information that came to you is going to change the fundamentals of that company. If that's not the fact, then this news is like just a 1 day fresh news, or max 2 days. Get out of it if you don't want to lose your capital. That's what I would recommend for you guys for stocks that moves like this. And FD is, I see FD is something similar to that. Don't hold FD for very long. Although currently this is at very low levels. It made a high of like 22 or like 24 even previously, and recently it made a high of 22, and now back again to 13.5, gave a closing of around 15. So these sort of stocks, like they should be short-lived, not very long. But currently, since FD is at the lowest levels, you can start accumulating, but don't keep it for very long. That's what I would say. Okay, guys.
Thank you, Tahir.
Yeah, welcome. So if there's nothing else to be asked, I will hand over this session to Kamal for his part. So he will continue with you guys. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your participation. And now over to Kamal. Yes, Kamal.
Thank you, Tahir.
I will stop sharing. You're most welcome. I will stop sharing the screen here.
Yeah, thank you, Tahir.